Hello dear students, this is your English teacher Qaisar Bashir. Dear students, in this video I am going to talk about the sermon at Benares written by Renshaw, and it has been taken from his book Value and Voice, The College Reader, published in 1975. Dear students, this is the 5th chapter of your English text Tulip series for class 10th. Let's get started. About Siddhartha Gautam. The students, Siddhartha Gautam was a philosopher, mendicant, meditator, spiritual teacher, and a religious leader who lived in ancient India from 569 BC to 483 BC. The students, BC stands for before Christ. He is revered as the founder of the world religion of Buddhism. He taught for around 45 years and built a large following. His teaching is based on his insight into dukkha, which means suffering, and the end of dukkha, to attain the state called nirvana, that is, a state of perfect bliss or happiness. The students, since his chief objective was to eliminate human suffering, he had come up with the following 4 noble truths, which are key to eliminate all human suffering. Number 1, life is full of suffering and pain. Number 2, pain is caused by human desires and ambitions. Number 3, liberation from pain and suffering is possible. Number 4, there's a way to attain this liberation. Introduction of the lesson. The students, the lesson, the sermon at Benares, throws light on the early life of Lord Buddha, who was born as a prince in a royal family. On being exposed to the sufferings of the world, which he was earlier abstained from, he renounced his princehood and went in search of salvation. After attaining spiritual awakening, he gave his first sermon in the city of Benares, hereby making a woman named Kisa Gotami realize that men are mortal, and a wise person should not grieve at what is bound to happen, because it only enhances pain and suffering. Dear students, Benares is a holy city located on the banks of river Ganga in Uttar Pradesh, and sermon means a religious lecture. Summary of the lesson. The students, Gautam Buddha was born to a North Indian royal family as a prince and was named Siddhartha Gautam. When he was 12 years old, he was sent to a faraway place to study Hindu sacred scriptures, and upon returning 4 years later, he got married to a princess. Dear students, sacred scriptures here means holy books. Soon they both had a son, and they continued to live the royal life for about 10 years. The royals were shielded from all the unpleasant experiences of the world, until one day, on his way to hunt, the prince met a sick man, an aged man, a funeral procession, and a monk begging for alms. Dear students, these experiences acted as an eye-opener for him and motivated him to renounce all the royalty to seek a higher sense of spiritual knowledge. Upon attaining salvation, he began preaching. He gave his first sermon in the city of Benares, a holy city situated on the banks of the river Ganga. Dear students, there was a lady named Kisa Gotami, whose only son had died. Suffering with an unending pain, she went from house to house looking for a medicine to bring her son back to life. People started thinking that the lady had lost her senses. One day, she met a man who directed her towards Lord Buddha. As she visited him, Buddha asked her to look for mustard seeds, and the seeds must be procured from a house that had seen no death. This gave her some hope, and with the hope, she once again went on a search from house to house. But to her dismay, she could not find mustard seeds from a house that would fulfill Buddha's condition. Disappointed, she sat down at the wayside watching the lights of the city as they flickered up and were extinguished again. And she considered the fate of men that their lives flicker up and are extinguished again. This made her realize how selfish she had been in her grief. She became conscious to the fact that men were mortal and no one could escape the jaws of death. Dear students, this was exactly what Buddha wanted her to understand and realize. According to Lord Buddha, feelings of grief and sorrow only increase man's pain and suffering and deteriorates his health. Therefore, a wise man, fully aware about nature's functioning, must not grieve at something bound to happen, and only then he can be happy and blessed. Moral of the story. Dear students, after reading the story, we get the idea that death is inevitable. It comes to everyone. Like an earthen vessel that ends in being broken, a human being too dies, irrespective of being rich or poor, fool or wise, man or woman. Our weeping and grieving on someone's death will not bring him peace. Rather, it will enhance our pain and make us suffer even more. Those who are wise don't cry, but accept the truth. That is, all are subject to death. Dear students, this was all about the story. I'll meet you soon with another video. Till then, stay blessed. Khuda Hafiz.